So basically, you're eating more keto, like healthy keto.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah, I usually eat 2 meals a day. If it's my keto day, I usually have a taco salad for lunch. That's very low carb, and then I'll have a meat at supper time. Maybe add some broccoli or some cauliflower. But on those other carnivore days, it's eggs and bacon, and for lunch, and then supper time usually some kind of steak. I stay away from the veggies. But that's been working for me, and I can't complain. Once in a while, I will do it where I just do 1 meal a day, but I tend to want a snack when I do that. So I think
mm,
I'm better off eating 2 meals a day right now. But
sure.
so far, so good. It's working really well for me.
Nice. That's awesome. I love that you found something that works for you because not everything works for everybody. Like I can't eat broccoli. I would love to eat broccoli.
You know,
It's like atomic bomb exploding. Janet doesn't like veggies. We love everybody here that's on the proper human diet. That's what I'm going to say. Love to those on the proper human diet. Okay, so we were going to talk a little bit about overcoming food addictions. So, should I flip a coin? Who gets to start?
Alia.
Oh, damn it. On the spot. All right, let's see. Let's see. So, my food addiction didn't actually start till later in life when I quit smoking because I replaced. So I saw that I was pregnant. How many ever years ago that was, and I quit smoking the day I had a positive pregnancy test after 70 years of smoking, and smoking was always more important for me than food. So I was never very much overweight because I had food controlled by smoking cigarettes, if that makes sense. And then I got pregnant. And so I replaced the movement from the cigarette movement to the food in the mouth movement. And I gained a lot of weight really fast. And I wasn't like particularly addicted to anything specific, just carbohydrates. Does that make sense? Like it wasn't like a specific thing like ice cream or cookies or something. I was very general about my carbohydrates. Um, and that led me to being very unhealthy and obese. And yeah, so after failing many times at keto, I found carnivore and I decided to bite the bullet on March 1st. And it was way easier than I thought. And it was almost like within a week, I no longer wanted to eat carbohydrates at all. I was like, just by eating fatty meat, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, that literally handled it. I know that sounds really crazy. I think that does that sound crazy that it could be handled so quickly, Nicole? After being like stuck, like addicted to carbohydrates, just one of those people that wandered around, just put food in your mouth.
I mean, was it like an addiction or was it just snacking? Like, was it an actual true addiction?
I think that sometimes it felt like that because like anytime I tried to do like a diet and then I would be out at a restaurant and I would like look at my reflection, hate what I saw, wanted to eat a piece of cheesecake, and then it would. This is like a real story that happened, and then start crying when my husband's like, "Didn't you want to lose weight?" Like not in a negative way. Do you get what I'm saying? Like not anything bad. It was just more like a comment, and then I just started crying. So
That's
I don't
more
know.
so emotional. Yeah, that's more
It
so
maybe I'm
emotional.
more of an emotional eater because I would eat if I felt bad, and I would eat if I felt sad or annoyed or got into an argument, I would go eat and watch TV. So yeah, maybe more for me was more emotional than an addiction, but definitely my smoking was an addiction for sure.
Yeah.
I prefer to smoke than eat. um, but the emotional eating was 1 week. Maybe the first 24 hours of being eating carnivore. So maybe it was an addiction, but definitely emotional eating is not even a thing for me anymore. And that's how I handle it. Beef, butter, bacon, eggs. More butter, y'all. How about Brian?
Well, I would say first of all that I used to drink soda like crazy, like it was water,
Mm,
and I did that for years and years. Even when I was, like in high school, and that I was drinking it, and I was pretty skinny then. But as I got a little less active after high school, got married and stuff, I definitely gained weight, And I started to eat a lot more, I think, too. A lot of, like Nicole said, the snacking thing really came on for me at that point, and I was snacking a lot in the evenings. And I did try different diets different times over probably the last 10 years that didn't really work out for me. There was one time I did lose quite a bit of weight, and then I gained it all back pretty quickly. But the interesting thing for me is, it unfortunately it wasn't just 24 hours after carnivore and then cravings were gone. Um, I would say I can't even tell you exactly when, but at some point I kind of knew that I didn't crave things as much, but I still struggle with it at times. Um, and even this last weekend was a perfect example for me, at least, when I say, okay, I'm just going to have this one little thing and it'll be okay. That doesn't work for me. Um, it just makes me really start craving stuff. And then I usually will have a couple of days of not eating as I should. And then I have to work for the next week or two past the cravings where if I eat really clean for a week or two, then I get past the cravings again for a while. But that's how it is for me. So it's still an ongoing struggle for me, particularly if I eat just one bad thing, it snowballs.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah.
So it's like abstinence.
Yeah.
Abstinence over moderation.
Yeah. And I always say that when I've gone like a week or two with nothing but meat, salt, and water, that I always feel my best. And that's when I don't eat as much as well, because I'm only eating when I'm hungry and I'm not getting those cravings thinking that I'm hungry. And when I've gone and had something I shouldn't again, then I start thinking, okay, I'm hungry. I need to eat again. And I probably am not hungry. It's just the cravings. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. And Nicole got over food addiction.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I told you I'm addicted to the sound.
I love it.
Yeah, so yeah, mine started. I pretty much had it my entire life, and I didn't realize I had a true addiction and binge eating tendencies, I guess, until I switched to low carb. I guess technically, I guess, carnivore. I'm like 85-90% animal foods, but before I switched to low carb, I didn't realize that I had binge eating tendencies and a food addiction. But mine started when I was 11 and my brother passed away. And of course, my parents lost a child. So they were dealing with their own stuff. I was 11. I didn't know how to deal with my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always had a sweet tooth, back in my day when there were like 5-cent candies, like the Swedish fish and the sour watermelon and all those things, like candy, ice cream, chocolate, you name it, anything sweet. I was going to town. But I was out working a bad diet, right? Because we didn't have internet. We didn't have cell phones. So I was out from the time I got home from school until it was time to eat dinner or time it got dark and I got called in the house. So I was out working a bad diet, but I would be in my room eating my feelings because I didn't know how to grieve that kind of loss, right? I've never
Right.
had that sort of trauma. So my whole life I had a pretty shit diet, but I was always active. So fast forward, I spent 14 years in the Air Force. When I got out and I had no one breathing down my neck telling me to run, telling me what time to get up, telling me to do anything. I didn't have to pass, yearly PT test or anything. My weight slowly started to creep on. I was unable to outwork my bad diet, I guess. So I'm 5 feet and I was pushing about 200 pounds at my heaviest. So I was almost 100 pounds overweight. I had sleep apnea. I had high blood pressure. I had chronic inflammation. I had all sorts of issues. So I didn't start losing weight truly until I went to therapy. And I know there's this stigma still around therapy. I know it's not as bad as years ago, but there still
Mhm.
is a little stigma around therapy. But I went to therapy, and it wasn't until I took care of my emotional health and truly
Mhm.
finally grieved all these years later, that I was able to really focus on my health. Because if you have emotional eating or binge eating tendencies or an addiction or whatever, there's usually some underlying issue or a cause, whether it's a
Right.
trauma or something that you just didn't deal with. And now you're using alcohol or food as your therapist. So eh, until you take care until you take care of what's really going on, you're really not going to be able to make lasting change, because you have to work on how you're coping and how you deal with tough things. So once I went to therapy and truly grieved, I had a totally different outlook on life. I thought differently about myself. I had more confidence. Like, just my whole worldview just changed. That's when I was starting to lose weight and take care of myself. Then when I found low carb, the beginning of this year, around the same time Alia, actually, not too far ahead, is when my inflammation went down. I have all the itises in my right knee from knee surgeries. So I have arthritis, bursitis, tendonitis. You have an itis, I probably have it in my one knee. But the doctor said I would need a partial knee replacement. I
Oh,
would never be
no.
able to function like a normal human being. I would always have pain. I have no pain. Like, it's just been a lifesaver. My anxiety's gone. My depression's gone. But if you struggle with emotional eating, and I know we're going to talk about that, and I'll get into a little bit of the sciencey stuff. Um, I truly think everyone could benefit from therapy, whether you think you need it or not. I truly do. It's been a game changer and a lifesaver for me, honestly, because my health was going down the tubes, and I had no interest in losing weight. My family actually did an intervention and try to get me to lose weight. I had no interest. So therapy really was a game changer for me in my journey.
Awesome. Um, yeah, it's funny that you said that because I'm all about therapy. I
Yeah.
think it's very good and helps people. Side note, uh, when I was 12, this has nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but I was attacked by a very big dog inside of a pet store. I think it was a Doberman. He bit me through my lip and bit me here. And I was super traumatized. I would literally, for years, 8, 12 years, go across to the other side of the street. Even if I saw a Chihuahua, I would not cross the path of any dog, and it only resolved with therapy. So I understand. And when I was like 10 years later, I was terrified of dogs.
Yeah.
Imagine a dog biting your face when you're like 12 years old. No. Anyways,
I
all
have
right. Was that? Oh, yeah. And Greg, what about you? Do you have any experience with food addiction, emotional eating, etc.?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I kind of want to echo some of what Nicole had to say about therapy. I've actually been a part-time life coach for about 14 years now.
Oh,
And
wow.
the one thing I'll say about, a weight loss journey, I feel it's just as much a mental journey as it is a weight loss journey. And I feel it is important to go back and visit some of those things that could hold us back. I mean, there's a lot of people losing weight and being successful, but if they do not address some of the issues from their past, they may very well gain the weight right back because there's a lot of hurts there and those have to be healed. So, that's where a therapist, a good life coach can take people back and revisit some of that and heal from that to move forward in life. And I think that's important to do, just like Nicole talked about. I feel that's how people can heal and move on and be very successful and continue to keep the weight off. I really
Hmm.
believe that. Now, as far as my own food addiction, I was addicted to something because I was a 10-pound baby when I was born. So I, I was a big kid then. I was 80 pounds in kindergarten. I've always been kind of a big guy, but it's one of those things that I'm kind of an all or nothing when it comes to eating, especially sweets. If you open a bag of M&Ms in front of me and I'm eating on those M&Ms, a couple hours later, that bag's empty. So it's just one of those things that I enjoy chocolate and sweets. And what I've done to kind of beat that food addiction is I really look at that stuff as it causes me pain. If you kind of associate pain with what that item is, all of a sudden you don't desire it anymore because you realize how much pain it caused you in the past. So that's what I try to do when I see that plate of goodies, or I'm at a function and there's cupcakes or cookies. And I remind myself when I see them, yeah, I remember that those are good or taste good, but it caused me a lot of pain through the years of growing up, the teasing, the bullying, all that stuff. So I think that's one way you can beat addiction is one, heal your past, like we were kind of talking about. But two, associate some kind of pain with that type of food that you like, and just say, you know what, it's not really worth the pain anymore to do that. And I think that really helps get you through those cravings and food addictions.
Yeah, absolutely. I was also thinking, oh, what do you want to say, Nicole?
Yeah, just one thing to that. Yeah, so another thing is, so I have complete food freedom now, and it took me years to get here. Like I can literally have a couple spoonfuls of Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and that's it, and not crave it, and not want to eat the whole damn pint. Like I used to go to town on a pint because I couldn't stop. What was that?
Me too.
Yeah. So like I have complete food freedom now. So I can do that. I can eat whatever I want. Technically I don't, but I can eat whatever I want and not go on a binge or not have my cravings through the roof. Now I will say part of the thing that helped me was, as my friend Pim says, Bart K's better half.
Oh.
Comfortable being uncomfortable. So when you are first trying to get over your addiction or your, I hate using the word relationship when it comes to food, it's just weird, but
Right.
unhealthy relationship with food or alcohol, whatever it is, it's going to be super uncomfortable in the beginning. Like even going carnivore, you're still going to have those cravings in the first few months, first few years, depending on how long, just everyone's different. So the first step is to, outside of recognizing the difference between emotional and physical hunger, which I'm sure we'll get into later, is to be comfortable being uncomfortable. It is going to be super uncomfortable. It's going to suck and it's going to take everything in you to not get up and grab that alcohol or grab that Ben and Jerry's kind of ice cream. But at first, just practice being uncomfortable and just being comfortable with it, and over time it'll be easier. And that's what I had to do. I had to force myself to just sit in and being uncomfortable, because I'm going against my instincts and my cravings and everything I want. I am going against that, and now I don't have those cravings anymore. And when I do, it's easier for me to, I guess, resist the urge, if you will. So that's my biggest message, is just be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. In my house, my husband has always disliked carbohydrates. I mean, he likes them sometimes, but so it's been very easy to not have anything in the house that would tempt me. We have fruit for my kids and a few other things for my kids, but nothing in a box. We don't have anything in a box. No bread or anything like that. Oh, shout out to Jonathan and Sophia. Oh my God, I just went blank. Sorry, Jonathan, the composition consultant for
No,
their
composition
egg spaghetti.
muscle.
Yeah, they have like this egg spaghetti, and I made it for my kids, and they loved it. So, anyways, not having anything in the house, if that's possible in your living situation that you get tempted to eat, will definitely make things a little bit easier. Out of sight, out of mind. That helped me a lot, and now I don't care what we have in the house. What about you, Brian? Brian? What do you think?
Well, I already told you that I had a donut over the weekend. So. But
Don't go to places with donuts. No.
At least a good donut,
Yeah.
like a and cream.
Yeah, it didn't have cream in it, and so this is the problem that I've noticed. I'm so I can't say that I was really big on sweets, but I was big on, like I said, soda and just eating in general, right? But since I've gone carnivore, things don't taste the same when I do eat them again, especially
Yeah.
sweet stuff. They're just like way too sweet. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm just gonna have this one thing, right? And I'll be fine. But I'm also like, yeah, this is gonna taste really good. And then I eat it and I'm like, yeah, this didn't really taste like I expected. But the funny thing is, for some reason, it still kicks in the cravings, even though I'm like, yeah, this didn't really taste like I thought it was going to, but I
Right.
still get the cravings from it. So I don't know.
I understand. It's the carbohydrates. They just make you crave more carbohydrates, even if they're pure poop.
Yeah,
Pure poo
yeah.
poo.
It's the sugar and it's just very addicting for me.
Yeah, sure. I had to get rid of finally like fake sweeteners, and then the last of the cravings went away when I got rid of the fake sweeteners. I want to pop up Dean McQuillan's question. Uh, People keep saying drink salt with water. I eat salt, then drink water, or vice versa. Is this a problem? I think that's not a problem. It's
Why
not
are
a problem.
why are people recommended to drink salt water if you're eating the right foods, whether it's triple B and E or whatever, you're getting the nutrients you need. I'm of the I always like to say, if don't supplement unless you actually have to supplement. If you're deficient in something and you can't get it from your diet for whatever reason, then sure, supplement. But I don't agree with supplementing, even with electrolytes, just a supplement, because there is a such thing as too much of a good thing. Having too much excess sodium, excess potassium, especially, or magnesium or whatever, can land you in the hospital, the same as having too little of those things. So I wouldn't supplement even with electrolytes unless you're outside, out sweating, in the sun all day, doing strenuous, and I mean strenuous activity, and you're losing a lot of fluids. I wouldn't, if you're sitting at home working in front of a computer or watching TV, there's truly no need. If you're eating the proper human diet, there's truly no need to supplement with even electrolytes.
This is what he says. To stop my cramps, I get dehydrated. I need to do this. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, so if you need to do it, then sure. But this is just a blanket statement, because I hear that recommendation all the time. Just increase your fat or increase your electrolytes, and that's not necessarily a blanket answer for everything. But that's what everyone that I've heard usually says all the time, and that's not necessarily, in my opinion, the right way to approach it.
Yeah, exactly. Does anyone want to have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, I would just say that, and I hear that a lot too about, and it's not necessarily just, putting salt in your water, but people will say you need to do this or you need to do that. And just keep in mind that everybody's different. Everybody's in a different spot in their journey. And even each person, like me, when I first started, there were certain things I needed to do that I'm not doing now and so forth. Right. So, you need to really be more in tune with your body and do what is best for your body, not what other people are telling you. So, if you do need more salt, then find ways to add more salt. If you don't, then don't do that. And it's really with anything on the diet like that. Fat is another one that comes up a lot. Find what seems to make you feel right, and especially when it comes to like salt and stuff like that. Um, I recommend having your blood work checked every once in a while and make sure that your sodium levels are in the right range and so forth.
Yeah, and one good measure of if you're getting too much fat, if in your diet, excess fat, if you have liquidy poops like diarrhea, and are going multiple times a day, decrease your fat intake a little bit. That's your body getting rid of the excess. So that's what it does. But yeah, if you have diarrhea, because I've seen this a couple times in a couple lives where people are going to the bathroom multiple times a day or suffering from diarrhea on this diet, that could be a sign that you're eating too much fat. It could be other things going on, but that's the
Sure.
easiest thing to try, is decreasing your fat a little bit.
This is a very important comment right here. The two types of people that love to talk about poop: one, parents of small kids; two, carnivores. I'll hide my own comments.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something about food addiction a little bit.
Yeah,
And
go ahead.
really, this goes for any kind of addiction. I think the big thing is understanding what caused the addiction. Um, and that's, like I said, you kind of got to go back and see, what's causing you to overeat. Are you emotional eater? Are you stressed? Do you eat because of that? Was trauma or hurt caused to you? Is that why, it's those things you got to question yourself and ask, what did cause this food addiction? And like I said, you have to kind of go back and visit that and figure out what that is to really beat it, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Any excuse to use my soundboard.
You do it. So Dean says, agreed. I wasn't doing this, but I was really asking why in the water instead of eating. Oh, I have no idea. No idea.
I mean, if you want to get technical, it's better to salt your food after it's cooked than before it's cooking because you're just dehydrating the meat at that point and most of it's getting cooked off. But yeah, if you salt your food post cook. I mean, even if you salt it while cook, also salt it post cook, because you're losing sodium during the cooking process. FYI, pro tip.
Wow, so many things. I learned so much new stuff every live stream. You need to do the cheering button.
Oh. Thank you. I'll be here all night.
This is a good point. Ketovore. Oh man, can you pronounce this for me, Nicole?
Keto Oregonian.
We can't overlook the addiction business model of big food. Yes, this is correct. Yes, this is correct. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Does everyone know that big food, like those marketing commercials? I've been seeing a lot of Reese's commercials lately, by the way. But do you know that those big food companies actually have psychologists or psychiatrists, whatever, therapists on staff helping with their marketing to get us to buy the food and want to buy the food? So it's all a mental tactic, and they are doing that on purpose. So that's why a lot of times when you see like a McDonald's commercial or whatever commercial, your mouth starts to water. They have psychologists on staff making us react that way through their marketing. In case people didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I took a bunch of photos today when I bought something for a live stream I'm doing tomorrow night. I needed a prop, but I was going through. Oh, it says Kellogg's cornflakes. First of all, the first gross thing here, if I can show it, if it pops up, let's see. Can you see it? The stupid light. Okay, I'm gonna do it like this. Right here, it said, right here, this 20,000 pesos. They're gonna make a Colombian pay $7 for a box of Kellogg's cornflakes. 20,000 pesos is like $7. That's crazy. But it has all this marketing on it. It was ridiculous. I was reading this. It was like, good for you. 100% natural without gluten. So that's why cornflakes are healthy. Yeah, it's a poop prop. Tomorrow night, all will be revealed on the Keto Cookout. Okay, here we go. This is another good. You got some good points here. Big Tobacco brought most of the big food companies, and yes, they do have those scientists making food hyper palatable, and the psychologists making our brains desire. Yeah, totally crazy. Totally crazy. Cornflakes is toxic. We grew up on it for a few years. Oh yeah, no, terrible. Does anyone else have? Who did?
Susie at 9:32 p.m.
Thank you. Oh yeah. Okay, thank you. I don't think salt can be addictive.
The answer is yes.
It is yes?
Because it releases dopamine, which is essentially the neurotransmitter associated with the pleasure. So it makes you feel good. So making food salty, like potato chips, you can't just eat one.
Oh yeah.
Here's the pleasure center of the brain, so it can be addictive just like anything else, like alcohol or cigarettes or whatever.
Oh, it's funny because I was gonna be like, no possible way. Have you ever oversalted something? There's no way to eat it.
Have you eaten a potato chip without salt and then a potato chip with salt? Which one do you eat more of?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What do you think, Greg? What do you think about this?
Well, I was going to say, I do take keto chow electrolyte drops 1 or 2 times a day. I put them in my water. However, I had a potassium deficiency. So it's one of those things that helps me. And I do think it is beneficial for people if they, maybe they're drinking a lot of pop before and now they aren't, to get some of that. I know, I don't know. It just seems to help me. And as long as I think everything in moderation, once again, you just don't want to overdo it. But I think it is beneficial for some people, and it does give you the electrolytes. You can drink the Propelled sugar free. That has electrolytes in it too. I do that once in a while just for some flavor, but I think it's okay to have some. But once again, like anything else, in moderation.
Yeah, it's more so on food. So that's what gives a food
Mhm.
the addictive quality. So when they're processing food, they remove all the nutrients and they replace it with the sodium and and the added sugars and all that. That's what gives it the addictive quality. So like
Yeah.
potato chips isn't a potato at that point. They literally during the processing remove all the good stuff and replace all the good stuff with the sodium. That's why all the processed food has excess sodium and excess sugar. Is because of that.
Yep.
Oh,
Definitely.
interesting.
Yeah.
And not to jump over you, Brian, but do you want to add anything?
Yeah, no, I agree that salt can be addictive, but I also think it's probably hard to eat too much salt at once, at least, because
Oh.
it just doesn't taste too good if you put too much. But in terms of, like Nicole said, if you eat something that doesn't have any salt on it and then you add salt to it, your taste buds are gonna be like, yeah, I like the one that had salt on it. So I think that is the addictive part of it right there.
Yeah, makes sense. Oh, so Rick has a very important question. Why is it that food commercials have no effect on me? Nicole, do you want to answer that question?
Because you're a cyborg.
What about you, Greg? What do you want to say to Rick? I think that was rhetorical, but we're going to answer it.
It's just one of those things. The BS just flows during the commercials, so you learn to ignore it.
Ryan, what's your answer for Rick?
Well, I mean, he's been carnivore for so long that I think that it just doesn't affect him. I think that you get to a point at some point where you haven't had the sugar and the carbs and so forth that, you just don't really have any interest in them. And I'm very envious of Rick because, we've talked before and yeah, he's like, yeah, why would you eat that? Like, I have no desire at all to eat that. And I'm like, man, I wish that I could be that way too.
Damn, Brian just gave a
Yeah.
serious answer. I'm sticking with
I
my cyborg
know.
answer though. The
I
cyborg.
was going to say just because he's been eating carnivore since the year I was born. Is that a boring answer?
Holy moly.
That's why. That's why. Okay. Kathleen says, who would have thought till going carnivore that fiber is not necessary for healthy poop functioning? So annoyed decades with IBS. They set up fiber, and what the cause was issues and lack fat. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Been there, done that. I totally understand. Do you see any other questions?
Yeah, there was a question at 9:36.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 8:36.
Oh, it's
Whatever
okay.
time you are.
I'm 8:36. But fun
36.
fact, while I find this, didn't Butter Girl say that fat is addictive? Oh, that's 8:34.
Oh, there was another one at 30. Yeah, after that.
Oh, I don't know. Try to eat a lot of fat. You're going to be in the in the diarrhea zone. I need a flushing sound. If somebody says something, it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. And the fact that butter is in her YouTube channel name.
It's been, I mean,
I don't know if butter's butter. I don't know if fat's addictive.
it's been so fat and sugars have been considered things that cause people to develop an addiction, but there's a difference between the fats that are added to the foods through processing, like I was mentioning earlier, and a steak. Like there's complete differences in the types of fats you're eating: polyunsaturated fat, monounsaturated fat, saturated fat, trans fats. There's a difference in fats. So not all fats are addicting. The bad fats are addicting, but not like if you go to Chick-fil-A and get their nuggets, they're cooked in peanut oil. Who here thinks they're amazing, right? They're breading when you were still eating that stuff. You can eat a ton of those. That's the that's the bad fat. So yes, but with that caveat.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. All right. I'm not going to have everybody answer this question. I'm going to go to the next question and we'll all take a stab at it. Tina Kathleen, question. Since eating a carnivore diet, do others find they're becoming more sensitive to other foods not carnivore? For instance, a slip up can cause pains to return fast. Yeah, Greg, do you want to take a stab at this one? I'll go last.
I would say, I'm not carnivore every day, but I would say, I mean, I notice that if I eat something I normally don't do, it can give me troubles for sure. I think I don't know. I guess it's your body's used to a certain way of eating and you change it, it's going to affect you. I don't think it matters what kind of diet you're on.
Yeah.
That's going to happen temporarily, but, I think your body adjusts and adapts pretty well to, whatever you're eating in time.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Nicole?
Brian, do you want to go next since I feel like I've been monopolizing the questions?
Sure.
Okay, well, Nicole,
Sure, I'll
we'll
go.
skip you on this one.
So I have seen some issues with like peanut butter, for instance, where I will eat a little bit of peanut butter and then hour or 2 hours later or whatever, I'll feel some joint pain, like in my wrist or something. I'm like, that's kind of weird. But I can't say that it's necessarily worse than it used to be because I think I just had that pain often before. So I don't know that I can say, for me at least, that I'm more sensitive. I think I'm just more aware now than I was before.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly what I was going to say. Actually, like if you think of the state you were in pre and post carnivore, most of us switched to carnivore outside of weight loss, right? Because every story I've heard, for the most part, have been weight loss. But the other part of it, digestive issues, chronic inflammation, chronic inflammation can count for a slew of other issues. But once you switch to carnivore, depending on how long you've been doing this, Tina, your body's going to normalize, essentially detox itself. And how you're feeling on carnivore is normal. So, as Brian said, when you have those slip ups, if you choose to call it that, I call it just living life. But if you have those slip ups, you are experiencing what your body truly feels eating those things. For instance, last weekend, my husband and I went to Salisbury Beach, Massachusetts. That's where he's from. And every year in August, we get Chrissy's Pizza once a year because that's the only place we can get it. And I decided I fasted that day because I know I was about to eat like garbage, but I decided I'm going to have a couple slices of pizza because we do this every year. My digestion that night and the next day, I slept like crap and I felt so bad. The next day I hardly ate, but I felt fine the like 2 days after, but that's completely normal because I used to be able to eat pizza like nobody's business and feel fine, but what I thought was fine wasn't fine. So like
Right.
and you're just more aware of those things, but you should feel better in a day or two after, depending on how overboard you went.
Right. Yeah, I agree with what everyone said. I was going to say the same thing. I don't think it's like uh, the slip ups or the living life is causing the pain. I think the pain was already there. We just didn't know it. Like I was so inflamed, chronic back pain, chronic IBS. And I just thought that was just part of being like older. This is what you think. Like you get older, so you have IBS, so you have back pain. So doing carnivore handled that. Last week I had some cheese, and the next day I woke up, my back was super stiff. And I hadn't had cheese or dairy in a while. So I know maybe other people can do cheese, but I can't because now I've done this twice where I had cheese and I had bad results as a result of it. So I think we finally understand what our allergies or what we're intolerant to is more the point. I don't think like carnivore ups it to the next level. We finally see what we're intolerant to, like the peanut butter. Sometimes if body needs more nutrients like sardines, perhaps then advertisements can affect us.
So Alia, how about that sardines fast you did that one time?
Let's not talk about sardines. Let's not talk about sardines. Let's talk about organ meats. Guys, next level, amazing. I know my husband did a really good job preparing it. And full disclosure, it was more like on the ketovore side because he added he wanted to make sure that I was going to eat it and we didn't waste our money and that I enjoyed it. So he added some spices to it. But no MSG or anything. But I felt so amazing. Like 15 minutes after I ate them, I hadn't felt that good since, I don't know, maybe I was 4 years old. I felt like on cloud 9. So I'm all about needing more nutrients. But I don't watch TV. So I only watch my friends on YouTube now and make YouTube videos. So I don't have time for TV and advertisements affecting me with YouTube Premium. What about you? What about you, Greg? What do you think?
Oh, I think organ meat would be something to try after hearing your success with that. That's for sure.
Bacon grease and watch some videos on how to prepare it correctly.
I did have some liver here not too long ago. I was brave and tried that. It wasn't my mom ruined it for me though, because when I was a kid, she called it steak and fed me liver. Needless to say, that first bite reminded me of being a kid. I ate it. It wasn't my favorite, but I think that's something I would try. As far as sardines, I would not try that at all.
Yeah, sardines never made me feel how eating organs did. And I think everybody needs to find out the right thing for them. What about you, Brian? Do you think that if you need more nutrients that maybe advertising will affect you more?
I don't know. I mean, I don't eat any organ meats at all. So I have had sardines a couple times, not very often. The smell is really bad in the house, and everybody gets upset at me if I do that. So sardines are kind of out of the question. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I will say this. When I feel my best is usually when I am eating steak, just drinking plain water, not having like flavored waters or any, sparkling or anything like that, and just seasoning with Redmond's salt. And that's it. For me, I seem to be my best and feel my best when I just do those things.
Oh, wow. Interesting. I'm going to add one more thing about the organs. So I can down in a day probably 2.5 pounds of steak and be hungry the next morning and want to eat breakfast. And I've had other meal that day and I've downed those 2.5 pounds of steak. Eating those organs, I ate not a lot. And I think it was like the first time I ever felt fully satiated from eating a food. Does that make sense? And it was so easy on the digestive system. I mean, in my video, I said I wasn't going to become the liver queen, but I don't know. I don't know.
I got to share something. I was at my doctor today and we talked about the carnivore diet, and he highly recommended that you eat organ meats if you are doing a carnivore diet. He said you'll get all the nutrients and stuff you need from that.
Yeah, it's true.
Just don't do it. You only need a little bit. You don't need.
Yes. You only need a little bit and you're full. You're done. You are done. It also has vitamin C.
Oh, vitamin C, you don't need a lot if you're on the carnivore diet because you don't have the glucose affecting the absorption of, because your body's always going to prioritize glucose. But funny story about fish. I don't eat seafood except for Christmas Eve. My dad's Italian, so Italian family do the fish and pasta dinner or whatever. So I might eat pasta this year, knowing I'm going to feel like crap. But it's an Italian tradition, right? So one year, my mom and I came home from shopping Christmas Eve, and my dad was cooking fish, like gutting it and all that stuff. I walk into the kitchen, like, Dad, what are you doing? This dork was chasing me around the house with the fish head opening its mouth, talking to me with this dead fish head. I ran out of the house and I haven't touched fish since I think food.
How traumatizing, Nicole. Okay, here, I want to pop this comment up. Susie Underwood. When I was a teen, I developed colitis and they put me on somewhat of a low fiber diet. Wish I would have stuck with that. It would have saved me a lot of pain and bloating. Yeah. Yes. Yes, I understand. And let's see. Ketovore. I'm sorry. I just can't read. I can't read. She's telling Tina, I had 6 months relapse into the carbs and was plagued immediately with swollen eyelids from wheat, itchy skin, and reverse psoriasis and joint pain. It was awful. Yeah, it's I don't think that we're allergic to these things now. We've always been allergic to them. I'm going to see any other questions. Can we answer this question? What?
Too.
I don't know. It just says what? How do we answer that one? Dun, 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 dun.
I'm so addicted. Speaking of addiction.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm just seeing if we have any other. Beef heart's really good. I like beef tongue also. I'm gonna try beef tongue this week. Beef heart is really good. It's just like steak. And look at everybody's facial expressions.
Greg is never going to come on live with us ever again.
I know.
Oh, I definitely would.
So Sana says my Turkish grams was hardcore. LOL. She ate most organs, most animals, including fish head, including the eyes. I don't know if I can go that far.
I think a lot of the old timers, as I like to call them, I'm 51 myself, but I think as people are older, they tend to venture out and eat more of that stuff. And I think a lot of it had to do with the times that they grew up in, that you didn't waste anything. So you ate everything. So, I think that's part of it too.
Yeah, exactly.
That is true. My parents tried to feed me liver when I was a kid, but that was, back then, if you didn't eat what your parents fed you, you like, because in the 80s, you weren't eating. So I went to bed hungry because they weren't making me a separate meal and I was not eating liver. So I went to bed hungry. My parents were mean. They sent me to bed hungry and they were chasing me around with fish heads.
Aww.
No.
Very traumatizing. CJ says liver appeals to me once. I have a couple of meals of it. I don't want it for a long time. Yeah, I think it's like you get the nutrients you need, and that's that. That's that. Oh, one more thing. I lost 2 pounds actually when I was eating my 2 days of liver, and I've stalled since, or my 2 days of organs, and I've stalled since then. Look, I'm gonna do a week of organ. I'm gonna do an organ fast. Greg, where are you from?
I'm from North Central Iowa.
Nice. Is that where you are right now?
Yeah, I'm in my man cave.
Yeah. Like everyone's got Budweiser, Sam Adams, Beware of Dead. That's very funny.
Well, Alia, where are you from? Why don't we go around and share where you're from?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I was born September 16th, 1983 in Evanston, Illinois at St. Francis Hospital at 10:33 a.m. There you go.
Oh, damn. That's specific. Okay, Brian. What
Well, I'm not going to get that exact, but I'm from Toledo, Ohio, and I now live in Virginia, about kind of just below Northern Virginia, I guess, in the Fredericksburg area.
the real Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I live in South America, by the way, just in case people don't know that already.
What time is it there?
So,
it's almost 9. I'm on Central Time. So the way it works in Colombia is the time doesn't change, but because I work in the US, and I YouTube in the US. Half the year I'm on Eastern time and half the year I'm on Central. So very soon I'll be on Eastern.
Interesting.
Okay, so I'm going to get specific as Alia. I was born October 9th, 1980 at Cooper Hospital in Camden, New Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl living in Northern Virginia, about 20 miles outside of Washington, D.C., which I call D.C. suburbs, aka fake Virginia.
Do you wanna get a little more descriptive, or are you okay, Greg?
Wait, yeah, Greg, what time and year and hospital
I
was
was
your
born in
was-
1972.
Oh, that was before Salisbury, I think.
But yeah, I was born in Mason City, Iowa, and that's where I reside now. So been born and raised and lived here my whole life. So
Oh, wow. This is very interesting. Guys, you're showing your limited life experience with different foods. It's true. I used to have days without food. You learn to try everything and you definitely don't go yuck. Yeah, sure. That
fair
would make
enough.
sense. Uh, Ketovor-Gorgon. If you want to say your name in the chat, I'll just call you by your name.
Oh,
You're 60. She's 60. This is interesting. The carnivore cure. I'm Scandinavian. If you eat Fisk? What's lutefisk? You can eat anything.
Lutefisk.
Lutefisk.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to the carnivore there. It's here. He's new to YouTube. He's just getting going, and he's got a great story to tell. I'm actually going to be doing an interview with him soon, but I just wanted to give him a shout out. Check out his channel. He's just getting going.
oh, nice.
We'll do. We'll do. Janet's in Iowa also. And FR says, I went to bed hungry too. No liver for me. Janet, you graduated from preschool in 1983. There you go. Let's see.
So, Alia, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, you can do that while I.
So,
Yeah.
you mentioned, I think, that sometimes you eat 2 to 3 pounds of steak in a day, right?
2.5.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Two and a
just to
half.
show the differences for people, I like today, I had a 20-ounce ribeye, and that's all I've ate today, and I'm not hungry. So,
Yeah,
that just kind of shows how things can be different for people at different times in
sure.
their journey.
Yeah.
Plus, different steaks as well. Like a ribeye has got more fat content, so it's probably keeping me full longer. So
Right.
that's another thing to point out. So I just thought I'd bring that up because it seemed like that was a big contrast, 2.5 pounds as opposed to just over a pound.
Yeah, I think that's what I ate today, plus eggs, plus some pork.
But see,
And
here's the interesting thing for me.
yeah,
If I don't have ribeye, if I have like ground beef or something, I'm going to
yeah.
be hungry again later and I'm going to eat twice. But for some
Okay.
reason, when I eat ribeye, I don't usually need to eat a second time in the day.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Kathleen wants to say more about the sardines. Regards sardines. I found out though when the body is depleted, the extra fish fat seem to help starve off temptations as seen in advertisements. Okay, but quality beef and butter and salt best. Okay, I get it. Yeah, no, sardines will do that too. It will make you not hungry. And when you do a sardine fast, you don't eat until you're so extremely hungry that the sardines will taste good. Your crazy uncle, you still haven't sent me that email. Tulsa, Oklahoma. So whose crazy uncle is he? Is this Brian's crazy uncle, Greg's crazy uncle, or mine, or Nicole's?
All of
All right. Okay, Sean, listen. 555-826624.
Write that down.
What's all yours? Oh, wow. CJ, I'm 68 youngish. Wow.
I won't give anyone my social, but I'll give everyone my cell phone number.
Yes,
Dad?
she will help you. And all you guys are like some sort of coaches, right? Put your cell phone numbers up in the comments.
On my
Yes.
website.
There you go. What does it say? Joseph, 1971. I'm older, young, and medium old.
Nice.
Let's see. Anyone else want to say anything while I scroll through
Brooke
the
said
comments
she
here?
was born the same year, but I want to know what month. Are we twinsies?
Oh, that would be cool. What if it was the same day also?
That would be
I
weird.
thought he was my
And the
crazy
same
uncle.
hospital. Out of the same mom. Holy cow.
Oh, that was for me. Okay, thank you. What's this say? Here come the extended car warranty calls. And car insurance. Okay, guys, it's been almost an hour. Anyone have any final questions in the next few seconds here, in the next few moments? Well, while we're waiting for anything else, Greg, do you have any final words for this evening?
Well, I just appreciate being here and appreciate all the people that came to watch tonight. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I'm trying to grow it and get the word out. For YouTube, it's at My Weight Loss Life. So if you could give me a sub, that'd be great. And sub to all these people as well. That if you're following me and you haven't just getting introduced to these guys, make sure you give them a sub too. A lot of people bring a lot of different knowledge and ideas, and I think we learn from everyone. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Aw, it sounded so cute. Y'all did great. Woo woo. Thank you. Good to meet you too, Tina. Okay, Brian, what do you want to say?
I don't know. I've been really quiet today for some reason. I don't
It
I
was
don't
your.
even
It
know
was
what
the
to say.
donut. Look what it does to
It
you.
probably, yeah, the donut or the bread or yeah, I should shut up now. But yeah.
It turns you into a zombie. You're like,
Yeah.
hi.
Yeah. It's one of those things now I'm gonna probably spend a week trying to get away from the cravings again. So I did it to myself. It's my fault, you know.
More butter. More butter. That's the answer.
Yeah.
So what am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? Shameless plug time. Tomorrow night, keto cookout. Please be there. It's fun. It's fun.
Can I give a plug too, real
Here,
quick?
wait, hold on. I want to tell Russ. Yes, we are.
Did he ask us a question?
Did you ask? What's your question, Russ? Russ is my brother. He says I was born in Manger. Just kidding. What's Manger? Is this a joke I should understand?
Oh, in a manger? Aw.
Born in a manger, yeah.
So I have a shameless plug too. I'm going to be live on Sunday. It's going to be like my second or third solo live Q&A. I think I'm getting better at these things, but I had a bunch of people on my community tab thingy drop some good questions. So if you have any questions you want me to answer during the live on Sunday, please feel free to visit my channel and drop it in the community section. And please support me. It's my third solo live, and those things are very different than having other people on the screen with you. It's a bit more nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I've done so many live streams and I've yet to do one by myself. So you're light years ahead of me. Born in a manger like baby Jesus. Sorry, you heathens didn't get the joke.
I sang it. I was humming.
He's gonna have a little talking to with me tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think it was just Alia that didn't get it. So the rest of us, I think, got it. So
Holy
but hey,
moly.
really quickly, I want to give a quick thing out here too for tomorrow. I know you have your keto cookout. That's at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which would be 6 o'clock Central, I am going to be doing a live stream with Dave Mack. So that's gonna be pretty cool.
Make sure to send them all my way when you guys are done.
Yeah, we will. So come to our live stream first and then go over to the keto cookout after that.
Thank y'all. Thank you. One more thing. Thursday night with Dave Mack and Nicole and Chad, we're all going to be eating strange foods. I might be eating a strange food. Nicole's gonna eat a piece of cheese. All right, thank you, everybody. You guys are so awesome. We could just sit here for the rest night. What's this? I love getting info, but never know what question to ask. Joseph, we're not gonna end this live stream until you ask a question.
Holy moly.
I don't care. You can ask anything.
Hurry up, Joseph. Oh, Tina uses herbs. Herbs.
Herbs.
Herbs.
Okay, I love making lamb kofta, minced lamb, pork, and some herbs. It's herbs.
Herbs.
But good leftover with breakfast and butter. That sounds so good. That sounds really good. All right, well, Joseph, next time. Tomorrow night, get your question prepared. We'll answer it for you.
Joseph said, uh-oh.
You could have just wrote "uh-oh" with a question mark and we would have answered
That's
it.
true.
Okay.
That makes
Bye,
sense.
everybody. Let's say goodbye. Let's say goodbye now. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank
all.
you.
Thank you.